Arsenal lineup versus Man City predicted after Mikel Arteta confirms huge blow. Manchester City will go head-to-head with Arsenal in the Premier League today in a game that will go a long way toward deciding who will be champions this season. It's a game that has long been billed as a title decider, and the winner will be favourites to lift the Premier League trophy next month. Manchester City host Arsenal today as they look to do what very few thought possible and real in their title rivals. City are 6 points behind the Gunners, but they have a game in hand. A victory today, followed by a win over Burnley on Wednesday, would see them overtake Mikel Arteta's side and top the table. It was revealed on Friday that Ruben Dias would not be back in time for the mammoth clash at the Etihad, but Arsenal have far more potential injury issues than Guardiola's men. Talisman Bukayo Saka is definitely out, as confirmed by Arteta on Friday, as is Mikel Merino. Martin Odegaard, Ricardo Calafiori and Jurriën Timber are all doubts, while Arteta hopes to have Noni Madueke available over he picked up a knock. David Raya will start in goal for the visitors, with William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes ahead of him. With Timber facing a late fitness check, Arteta might decide against throwing the Dutchman straight back in given the pace City possess on the wings. Piero Hincapié and Ben White can start in the full-back positions. Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice are nailed on to start in midfield, but Arteta has decisions to make in attack. Arsenal have scored just 3 goals in their last 5 appearances in all competitions, a run that includes their Carabao Cup final defeat to City last month. Madueke has been a regular in the starting team since Saka picked up an injury, and he can start on the right provided he is fit. Arteta may look to make a change on the opposite flank after the stale display against Sporting Lisbon in midweek, though, with Gabriel Martinelli dropping out and Leandro Trossard coming in. Victor Gyökeres is Arteta's go-to centre-forward, and the Sweden international expected to start at the Etihad today. Even after today's game, there is still a long way to go in the title race, so it's not quite a case of winner takes all. But make no mistake about it, today is a huge occasion, and whoever wins will be strongly tipped to win the title. Arsenal predicted Raya, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Hincapié, Zubimendi, Rice, Madueke, Trossard, Gyökeres. Mikel Arteta is chasing down his Premier League dream, with his long-time mentor Pep Guardiola gradually gaining yards on him. The 6-point lead Arsenal have at this stage is an impressive one, but with the momentum shifting in Manchester City's favour, every decision will feel more important than the last for the Gunners' boss. Prior to the Champions League quarter-final tie against Sporting, no fear, pure fire was Arteta's rallying cry to the players and fans. And as the Spaniard calls for pure fire from those around the club, some may be hoping for the same in his tactical setup in the final few weeks of the season. Novel solutions, on and off the pitch, no matter how small, might decide the title. So let us take a closer look at how Arsenal have played recently and what this means for the run-in. In recent games, Arsenal have stumbled by their usual high standards with losses to Manchester City and Bournemouth in the Premier League and Championship club Southampton in the FA Cup. In the Carabao Cup final, Manchester City boss Guardiola appeared to nullify much of Arsenal's build-up with ease. City set up in a 4-2-4 block, with Erling Haaland and Ryan Cherki blocking the middle of the pitch, while Antoine Semenyo and Jeremy Doku pressed Arsenal's centre-backs, angling their bodies in ways that blocked passes to the full-backs. Arsenal struggled for a few reasons. City's 4-4 allowed Arsenal's central defenders to keep the ball, engaging less proactively compared with Bournemouth. The key for City was to make it hard for Arsenal to access their midfield duo, while giving them reasons to doubt the pass into their fullbacks, and ultimately enticing Arteta's team to play the ball long where City then had a back 4 and 1 or 2 midfielders back, ready to mop up loose passes. Bournemouth looked to apply pressure more aggressively. Instead of lining up with a flat front four, their left-sided midfielder James Tavernier moved inside to support his central midfielders, particularly when Kai Havertz dropped deep looking to form a midfield three with Martin Zubimendi and Declan Rice. This decision left Ben White free at right back, but striker Evanilson constantly looked to curve his runs to block off passes to the right, making accessing the fullback harder. City and Bournemouth's press differed slightly, but there were principles both used that were effective, one being how both sides looked to funnel Arsenal's play down the left. Gabriel was challenged to dictate the game from deep areas, something his counterpart William Saliba is better at. When play was forced down outside, Andoni Iraola's team were able to lock on in a man-to-man fashion. When this happened, Arsenal's players and coach alike often gestured to Gabriel to look long for a striker Victor Gyökeres. Since the turn of year, Arsenal have leaned into attacking the spaces that open up when opponents press man-to-man with the likes of Noni Madueke, Gyökeres, Gabriel Martinelli and Havertz, in theory, having the underlying skill set to punish teams in transition. The issue against Bournemouth was that Sweden forward Gyökeres, contrary to his physical frame, has struggled to win his individual duels against Premier League defenders, leading to Arsenal failing to dominate possession and get up the pitch. His strengths instead lie in getting his team forward by running the channels, where he showcases strong ball-carrying ability. Against Sporting, Havertz came on as a striker and looked to make the ball stick more often. Es played behind him and the pair combined well with long passes hitting the tall German before bouncing into the space as arrived into. This focus on central play throughout the team against Sporting was an encouraging change in intent too, suiting Es personally and Arsenal broadly. If Arsenal are to improve their ball progression, this might be a duo Arteta relies on more often. In recent games, Arsenal have still tried to play out of pressure through short passes, attempting to play down the right flank as teams have tried to force them down their left. There were examples of build-up play that helped Arteta's side escape pressure, before failing to capitalise on their good work because of poor individual actions. Against City, with goalkeeper David Raya involved in deep build-up, Arsenal were able to shift the ball to the far side while outnumbering City's front four. Havertz often dropped deep from his number 10 position into midfield, and when he did, Bernardo Silva defended him tightly. This left Ben White free, who combined with Havertz to help Arsenal bypass City's press. Liverpool similarly found some joy with 3 players in the first line. They did this by moving Curtis Jones from midfield into defence, pushing Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk wider, rather than having their keeper become the third defender. Jones broke the lines through City's front four to find Liverpool's midfielders around the City midfield duo. Florian Wirtz moved infield from the left wing to join Ryan Gravenberch and Dominic Szoboszlai in what became a 3v2 situation.